Hey there, Shawna Karrasch here with an Ask Shawna answer. This question, well, I don't have a written down question, but I remember this question. And this question was for Rhonda. And Rhonda had asked about, wanted to teach her horses about paddock manners and separations and getting them to separate from one another in the paddock. And this is a problem that it's a challenge. You know, if you have a lot of horses and trying to get one out or the other out, it can just be a struggle at the gate. But yet this is something we did all the time at SeaWorld. Also, it can be a tougher struggle when your horses love to do positive reinforcement. They really want to be with you. So they're hoping it's their time to come out. So at SeaWorld, we had groups of animals, social animals, and we would have them in a group and we would teach them to do separations. And basically what we did is we worked on stationary targeting is how it started. So what we did. So we first would start with, like, the otters had a rock they would go to, or a black mark that they would go to. So everybody kind of had a place to go. And then, like with the sea lions, it all went up to a fiberglass bed at the back of their pool. Or with the dolphins and whales, we'd have them all hold on stationary targets on the side of the pool. So basically, and for some places, everybody had specific targets, and in some situations, they could just go to a target, you know, so they could pick one. So it kind of depends. I think with the horses, it might be good if you actually had them go to their targets, you know, like they knew that I go to the end, this one goes here, this one goes there. I think the more structure kind of the better it can go if they just know what their routine is in their place. And I think it might help. But basically, by teaching them all to go to their stationary targets, and then, so let's say you're at the gate, ask everybody to go to their stationary targets, and then call one over. And that one that you call over, you can bring outside and even have hold on a stationary target while the others are holding on their stationary targets. And then everybody gets reinforced as a separation is done. Now, that sounds all well and dandy, but you need to train this first. And it's only when they're really strong with their stationary targets that we can do this. So basically, I'd start by having them hold on a stationary target. You can teach it anywhere because it's a concept first that we're teaching. So you don't have to do it in the paddock where everybody else is. You could take them, you know, to a stall. You can take them to, you know, another place, a pen, you know, round pen, another paddock, whatever it might be. And I would have the same type of stationary target, so you could use the same sort of one so they can recognize it easily and know what to do with it and help to generalize that. And I would teach them to hold on that target and to be, at first, touch the target and then work on that duration. And as you get a little bit of duration, and the very first part of building duration can go a little bit slow, but once they get the idea, and because at first it's cut, and they'll touch it and come off, touch, come off. Once they get the idea to hold just a little bit, then they usually get the idea and it goes along a little faster. But what I would do is get it so they're at first just holding a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and then I would increase the activity that goes on around them while they are holding on their target. Now, you can't just go from A to Z and do big giant stuff, but start with little stuff. So maybe they're just holding on a target and you just kind of start raising and swinging your hands. And at first when you do that, I guarantee they're going to look and go, what? And then just point back their target and get it so you can move your hands, you can jump around, you can walk around them and that they're holding. You can make noises. You could go to the gate, clang the gate, and they still hold. Pretty soon you can go out of the gate and enter the gate. They still hold. And get them so they're really strong about holding and ignoring the stuff going on around them. So I always want to teach them, I find it's best anyway. I mean, you can teach them different ways, but I find it is strongest if you really teach them one-on-one first. So every horse knows how to do this. And then what I do is, so each one you come in, they know how to do it. You can work it even, like if you take the other two away, work it in the paddock where it's going to be and start setting up the stationary target in there. And then start working two of them together. So now you can start doing separations. You can take them back to the round pen or something. Have two of them holding together and start doing things and having them hold and then start to take one off. When you first start working with two of them, it'll probably be best if you have two people, because that way somebody can reinforce them while they're standing and waiting, and then the other one can be tending to the, you know, everybody can get reinforced pretty promptly. And then when that's going pretty good, I would start having the other person stand there but have the one person be the one delivering reinforcement. So you're kind of starting to fade that second person out, but the second person is kind of there to lend some support, or if it kind of, you can remind them to come back. And pretty soon you fade that second person out. You have two of them. You can have one hold. You can call the other, have the other hold, and get them both good with that. And then start introducing. So make sure each pair of horses, even though let's say there's 4 horses in there, make sure each one has worked with the other one and are good with it. And then I would start doing the 2, and then start doing 3, and then eventually to 4. What I also think would help is if you had buckets available that you could put in there to give them food as they're good. So, I mean, it's one thing like with a dolphin or whale or sea lion, you can toss a fish and they get a decent size reinforcement. But it would be good if you can go along quickly as you have one hold. You can, you're saying you stay there, you can drop food in their bucket, drop food in their bucket. Even if it's buckets, you just slide under the fence for a minute, so they have a place where they can eat their food. Anyway, so you can give them a larger reinforcement when they've done well. Anyway, so that's where I would do that. And I would also not have it always end that one just leaves. Maybe that one comes in, then that one goes out, and that one comes in. You're just working on separations and teaching them how to do that. Anyway, Rhonda, I hope that helps you out. You know that you can ask more questions. So if if something's not seeming clear to you and you'd like to know more about it, just give me a holler. It's really not a hard process. When they get solid at that holding on their own target, it can go pretty good. And then they have a good reinforcement history built up with that behavior. So as you add more in, they're thinking, yeah, but this pays pretty good. Anyway, so I hope that helps you. If you have questions, you or anybody else about separations or, well, anything, please don't hesitate to go to AskShawna.com or ShawnaKarrasch.com or go to the Facebook, AskShawna.com. Anyway, until next time, enjoy getting your horse on target. Bye.